It's really easy in the work that we do here, where we're tossing around numbers in the millions and billions, to lose track of what just one of those units means. What is $1? Every dollar represents value. That's what it's there to transact, what it's there to represent. And that value was produced, and it was produced by a person. I heard an interesting turn of phrase from Chair Gomez earlier, talking about those in the upper income tax tiers as being, quote, richly rewarded, unquote. It's interesting language, richly rewarded. I've never regarded one of my paychecks as a reward. It wasn't a prize. It wasn't a grant. It wasn't something that I was given. Every paycheck that I've received has been earned. It's been payment for value added to an employer. And that's true of Minnesotans everywhere, regardless of what income bracket they fit in. Minnesotans earn their money. It's theirs. And every time we appropriate a dollar, we are taking not just the money, but what the money represents. Value that they spent time and effort and applied their intellect to produce. We're taking that from them. We're appropriating it. That's literally the word we use, appropriating their productivity, their labor, to redirect it to what we think it ought to be spent on. And I think that that decision ought to be made with a high degree of sobriety and respect for the audacity of being able and willing to do that.
It's easy to be like, oh, taxes are terrible, but like, let's talk about what taxes buy. What's terrible about it? What are you gonna cut? Is it the kindergartners? Is it the streetlights? Is it the fire response? I mean, you know, we all wanna talk about like these, so, you know, we're all free market believers until you really get into the details of what that means. Like, should only people who can afford it be able to send their kids to school? Should communities only have access to roads and the post office if they can pool their resources together and support those public services? Because my community could do it. We could come together and pool our resources and pay for a post office. Is that true across the state of Minnesota? That's what the public good is. That's what our taxes buy.
The question of what should we cut, what public good doesn't deserve to be funded, is really a secondary question that needs to come after the primary question, which is, where does this money come from? Where is it? And how did it get there? And how are we going to obtain it? And how sustainable is it year over year, biennium over biennium, session after session, to continue taking more and more of it from the people who produce it? And the answers to those questions will determine, or at least set the stage for, our consideration of your questions, Chair Gomez.